Welcome back, everyone. A very essential part of every electrical diagram would be the lines. Now, usually, guys, we can understand what each line exactly does or represents in a diagram through their shape and appearance. So, obviously, in a diagram, we might see different patterns for lines, like some of them might be thick, some of them might be thin, or even dotted lines. So, without any further ado, let's talk about the different types of lines that we would see in a diagram. Alright. Usually, guys, the patterns that we would see for the lines in electrical diagrams would be one of these three. Okay, let me try to elaborate now. For example, as you can see here, for the first line, for this thin line, we have electric line or cable wire conductor of a single thread. Then, compared to the first example or first type of line, if we had more thickness, if the line was actually thicker, we can make sure that that specific line actually representing a power line. Like when we want to display the phase lines, L1, L2, L3. Now, guys, when we want to show how many lines are exactly moving through a path, first, we need to set a single line here, and then right next to it, we can write down the exact number of passing lines. And sometimes we might be using a shielded object, like a shielded cable. Now, to show that we are using such object in our diagram, we can use this specific pattern. Alright, we have some other usages for the lines in diagrams. For example, let's say we want to convey or show that some of the equipment, some of the items are actually set outside our electrical panel. Like, for example, let's say on the door. Well, to convey this message, we can set a line with this pattern all around our equipment. Like, for example, here, the line is set all around the electrical symbols that we have for the push buttons. They are actually connected to the terminals, but this line here shows that the push buttons themselves are set on the door, for example. Now, we also have this contact set in this frame here, and the contact is actually connected to some terminals in an electrical panel. And, as I just mentioned, this frame here shows that the contact itself is actually set outside the electrical panel. Okay, now take a look at this slide, guys. As you can see, we got a panel and, a diagram of a panel. And in this diagram, all the electrical equipments and, all the protective devices are set inside this frame here. This means that all the devices here are set in a single panel, in a single box, for example. Now, in the next slide, guys, we have another pattern of lines. This dash dot line is usually used for showing the earth systems. Guys, to be 100% clear, this isn't the only usage. We have another usage as well. Mostly we use it for showing the earth systems, but another usage would be for separating two parts of a diagram. For example, when we use it, we would have two sides, interior and exterior. The interior part would be the panel, and the exterior would be the earth system. Alright, what we got here is an example of a draw-out electrical panel. Now, obviously, because we're discussing the lines, the first thing that might actually catch your eye would be this frame set all around the entire equipment in this whole diagram. This again means that all of the equipments are actually set in a single chamber or in a single panel. Now, the mentioned panel or the mentioned chamber might, for example, be this. Now, again, because of the symbols that we have, because of the patterns of lines that we have, we know that some of the equipments are set outside the panel and some others are set in the interior part of this panel.